Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel here. I know it's been some time since we've put out any content here lately on the channel, but there is a good reason for that. So in this video today, what I wanted to kind of do is kind of discuss my thought process on why I'm selling the M2, and then get into a little bit of like what I'm going to be replacing the car with, or at least what my hopes are, right? So if you haven't watched the last video that I put out, kind of going over what happened with the M2, essentially we got rear-ended on the highway, probably going 60, 75 miles an hour, somewhere between there. The damage wasn't too much. They did not total the car out. I know in the last video we had talked a little bit about the potential of them totaling the car out, just because the parts supposedly were going to take a long time to get because they're on nationwide back order with no ETA, right? So to kind of give you an idea of where we're at today, the car is currently being fixed. I think the damages totaled was like $16,000, $17,000 in damages to the car. So it's getting fixed, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is, after it's fixed, I'll go ahead and file what's called a diminished value claim that essentially makes up for the amount of money you're losing on the car since it's been involved in an accident, right? Or it has an accident on the Carfax. So that's the plan there. And then I'll probably look at selling the car. And the reason being is, like, for one, I feel like it's kind of tainted now, and yeah, it just kind of sucks, and I'd rather sell it now and take the hit, if any, if we have good success with the diminished value claim. But I'd rather take the hit now than wait for the car to continue to depreciate. Let's say I keep it for another year, it's going to continue to depreciate over the course of that year, and then I feel like I could potentially be taking a bigger hit on the resale value of the car when that time comes, right? And I do think that we've had the car for almost a year, and we've done a ton of stuff to it. I've kind of had my fun with it, and I think I'm ready to jump into something new. That being said, in terms of the value that I hope to get for the M2, probably somewhere between $60,000, $62,000 for that car. I think it's a fair deal with everything that's done to it. I have a set of brand new tires for it that I didn't even get a chance to put on. And a bunch of other stuff too, like other mods that I didn't get a chance or an opportunity to install in the car. So that'll all be coming with it. But I mean, I think around 60,000 is a pretty fair price for the vehicle. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But let's go ahead and get into what I plan on replacing the car with. Now, when I look at a specific car that I could be bringing to the channel, obviously it has to have a couple of requirements, right? So when the new M2 came out, I bought that because I knew, for one, not many people are making content on it on YouTube. I know that it was going to be a pretty popular car, so that's why I went ahead and did that. And it was like relatively cheaply priced in comparisons to, let's just say, like a G80 M3 or something along those lines, that we're talking a little bit closer to the $100,000 mark in terms of the value of the MSRP of the car. Now, looking at what our options are today, we don't have a lot. And I know that I put this out on my Instagram a few weeks back, just kind of get some input from people. But I was looking at Porsches, and I think that if I were to go with a Porsche, I'd want a 992 just because of the creature comforts and the interior of things. And we'd be looking at spending, anywhere between like 130 to 150 on a Porsche. Like, that's probably a base Carrera brand new. So that's kind of a lot of money for that car. But also, I don't think that there is enough viewership in terms of making content for that car specifically. Another car I was kind of tossing around that would be in that same price range is a 991.1 GT3. But if you know anything about those 991.1s, they have a motor issue, so it's kind of hard to find the right spec GT3 that has already had the motor replaced with like a G series motor. So all these things. And then something that I've been looking at for, really since it got announced, was a dark horse Mustang. That's kind of like right in the same price range, about 72, between 65 and 75,000 for a dark horse Mustang, depending on how you spec it. But that was something I was looking at, geez, almost around the same time that I got the M2, but they were hard to get. All the dealerships were asking over MSRP, so it was kind of crazy. But now that's not really the case, and I've gone ahead and put an order in for a Dark Horse Mustang, and I want to show you guys how I've kind of spec'd that and what that looks like. So we'll go ahead and jump into it here. So I've already put the order in. I don't know how long it's going to take, but we'll see. I'm getting some input that it's probably 4 to 6 months, but I kind of have a workaround for that. But the order's in. I'm at like the highest priority on the list for the dealership that I put the order in with. It's at MSRP, so that's good. There's no markups or anything like that. But I'll go ahead and show you guys what we did here. So Dark Horse Mustang Premium. We did go with the Blue Ember Metallic, and the reason why I went with that is because I remember growing up as a kid, like the old Cobras that came in the Mystic Chrome color. I think that this is kind of along those same lines where the color shifts, and yeah, it's just kind of a little bit nostalgic, and I think that this is probably the best color, either that or just a black Dark Horse. But we went with this on the order. We didn't do any painted racing stripes. I had them delete the hood stripes as well, so getting rid of these hood stripes here. I thought that it looks a little bit more clean. Of course, we went with the Tremec 6-speed manual, which is nice. I'm excited to be back in a manual car again. Super excited for that. And I know that these Tremec 6-speed manuals are some pretty incredible transmissions as well. Okay, stayed with the 373 gearing. So this is the 700A equipment group. This is the performance or the premium pack Dark Horse, and it includes a lot of these things. One thing I did add is the Dark Horse handling pack, and as of right now, I think that might be the only like package that might extend the amount of time that this order takes to be done. So again, I kind of have a workaround for that, but as it sets, I did go ahead and slap on the handling pack on this Dark Horse when I ordered it. And you get a bunch more, I mean, really with the performance, or with the handling pack. So what that includes, you get some bigger wheels and tires. You get 305s in the front and then 315s in the rear, adjustable strut top mounts, front tow hooks, magnetic dampening system, performance rear spoiler with the gurney flap, revised chassis tuning, and I do know that there's some other cooling options too that they made part of that Dark Horse handling pack. I don't know if that's part of the handling pack, but I believe the Dark Horse, just in general over like the regular 5.0 GT, adds a bunch of cooling features as well. So exterior options, we didn't really do any of this stuff. We did, like I said, do the hood accent delete, so it gives it a little bit of a cleaner look. And I feel like I haven't seen too many with that. And here's another thing too, is like when I'm looking at a car, since I have the detail lounge, I'm looking at a car that there's not going to be a ton of them around town, and here in Tucson, it's not that big of a population. So I personally haven't seen any around. I think I've heard of like 1 or 2 in the area, but they don't come out to car meets or anything like that. So that's always also something that's important for me, is just to try to find something that is that's not super saturated, I guess. Remote start, this I can't do because this is the manual. We have the active performance exhaust on there. They have these yeah, see, it's not gonna let me do that. So I did not go with the Grabber Blue. We did the Notorious Blue with the Grabber Blue logo for the calipers. And I've seen these in person and they look really, really good. I was kind of unsure of how these two colors might clash as far as the paint and the caliper paint goes, but I think it looks pretty good. The interior, we did go with the blue indigo and these Recaro sports seats. So there's a shot of the interior. And I mean, I really like the big screen in the M2, so I think that I'm going to appreciate it here in the Mustang Dark Horse as well. We did do the Recaro vinyl seats with micro suede inserts. Oops. Yep. And let's see. Climate controlled seats, can't do that because of the Recaros. But I want to say that that's it. I mean, for the most part, the fact that this is already a Dark Horse Premium adds a bunch on there. So MSRP on this car is $73,865. This is exactly the same way that I spec'd it through the dealership when I put the order in, and that's already in. Hopefully we get a build date soon. I don't know. I know that they just started. I was looking on the forums, and I think that they just started producing some handling pack cars again. But there's people that have been on the wait list for like almost a year, which is crazy. So right when the order banks opened last year, I think in March or April, people were getting on the list, and they're still just now receiving their cars. So I don't know. It could be a long time, and like I said, I kind of have a recourse for that because if we come on over here to AutoTrader and we just look at, let's see, where's Mustang? We'll just search, and then we'll kind of open it up, do a nationwide search, and just for, let's see, Dark Horse, and then I just want to search for a manual car. But as you can see here, there's 167 of them around the country. So my plan, and like you can find the exact same car that I spec'd, right? Like some of these are still these crazy dealer markups, but I think that even a lot of people that are still waiting for their order are just going and buying them off the lot, maybe having to forego like one or two different spec'd items that you might have put your order in with. But at the end of the day, you can still find these cars just sitting on lots just because of the way that the market is. And it's likely that you could work a deal on a car like this and pay under MSRP just because, like, I mean this is kind of crazy, right? Like around the country, almost 170 of these cars are just sitting on lots. A lot of these cars, though, are not going to have the handling pack. Some of them do. And the way that you can kind of tell is that they have this front splitter here. That's a little bit more aggressive. And they have they have a wider tire in the front. So they have those 305s in the front. So you can kind of see around the wheel well arches that there's that little piece of plastic that kind of sticks out as like as a rock guard. So that's part of the handling pack too. But yeah, like these cars are all over the place on the internet, and I'm sure that if you were to contact one of these dealerships and work a deal, they'd probably be open to that, because at the end of the day, the longer the car sits on the lot, the more money that they end up having to pay for it while sitting there. So that is my plan. And what I'm probably going to do is we'll see how long it takes for the M2 to get finished in terms of it being fixed. And then, like I said, file the diminished value claim. I don't know how long that's going to take. That could be a lengthy process. I'm not sure. If you have any information, or if you ever filed a diminished value claim, let me know down below in the comment section of this video. Any help would be greatly appreciated. But after we go ahead and find or put in the claim for the diminished value, then I'll go ahead and sell the car. So we'll see what that timeline looks like. It could happen soon. It could happen, in a couple months. I'm not sure, but the Dark Horse is definitely going to be the next car coming to the channel. And I know that a lot of my viewers are BMW guys, but at the end of the day, if you guys are subscribed to the channel and you like the kind of content that I put out here on the channel, I think it'll be cool to go ahead and do a bunch of mods like we did on the G80, on the G87, but to an American muscle car. And the reality is that every other American car producer has stopped producing really any V8 muscle cars, let alone a manual, right? So that's what I'm kind of excited about. I think that what we'll probably end up doing is just immediately doing a bunch of mods to it, slapping a Whipple on it, because here, like if I would have gone the route of buying the Porsche, I probably wouldn't have had a bunch of money to mod the Porsche, right? Being that it's over $100,000 car. But with this car, you know, we're all in $73K, maybe a little bit less if we can find a car that is similarly spec'd and we can work a deal with the dealership, and then have some extra leftover cash for the modding process. So what I would like to do is probably immediately slap a Whipple on the Dark Horse and get to making some content around that. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the Dark Horse is a good choice or not? I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I've already made up my mind, so it doesn't really matter. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the addition of the Dark Horse to the channel, you plan on seeing future videos. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will definitely keep you updated with what's going on with the M2. Until then, we'll see you later.